Hello and welcome to Binary News, your daily dose of focused gaming news with myself, Amata. Today is the 21st of June and this time I'm bringing you some news regarding Dead Rising 3 on the PC, as we have a couple of pieces of news. The main meat of this video is going to be the minimum and recommended specifications for the PC version. However, before I get into that, Capcom have also released a statement regarding the 30 FPS debacle on the PC. Now, a member of the Capcom development team posted on the Dead Rising 3 Steam forum saying, quote, "Allow me to set the record straight. While Dead Rising 3 is optimised to run at 30 frames per second for gameplay reasons, you can still expect it to run fine uncapped under most conditions provided you have a capable enough hardware. We can't guarantee that there won't be issues, and obviously depending on your rig may see different results. Rest assured the beefier your gaming machine, the smoother your zombie killing experience will be." Now, Capcom did warn that Dead Rising 3's frame rate will fluctuate in uncapped mode in certain areas, particularly later on in the game when the streets are packed to the brim with zombies. And they finished up by saying, quote, "Couple that with an open world sandbox game engine, big explosions, complex physics, interaction, and huge draw distance, and you're bound to experience dips here and there." So, to be honest, it sounds better than their initial statement, which made it sound like the second you uncap it, there's going to be physics breaking and stuff all over the place. But it actually sounds now like as long as you have the power to run it, uncapping the frame rate will not really cause that many problems. And according to Capcom as well, all you need to do to change the frame rate is a .ini edit, so pretty simple. Now, let's move on, shall we, to the minimum and recommended specifications. OS-wise, you need at least Windows 7 64-bit, or of course Windows 8. Processor-wise, you need a Intel Core i3-3220 at 3.3 GHz, or an Intel Core 2-Quad Q9550 at 2.83 GHz, or an AMD Phenom 2 X4945 at 3 GHz or higher. Memory is 6 gigs of RAM, and graphics card has to be fairly meaty at NVIDIA GeForce GTX 570 or AMD Radeon 7870 or higher. DirectX is of course 11, and hard drive space is pretty hefty at 30 gigs, and of course on your sound card it needs to be DirectX 11 compatible. So, recommended, this is where we really get interesting. OS is of course the same. Processor wise, you'll need an Intel Core i5-4570 CPU at 3.20 GHz or AMD equivalent. Memory is 8 GB RAM, and graphics will be NVIDIA GeForce GTX 670 2GB or AMD Radeon 7970 2GB. Of course, it's still DirectX 11 for sound card and DirectX, as well as of course this required 30 GB. Now, Capcom finished off things by saying, quote, "Many of you have asked what does the min-spec rec-spec mean for Dead Rising 3 and my particular PC setup. Short answer is, if you have a min-spec machine, you'll be able to play at 30 FPS at low settings, which still looks very nice. If your system meets the recommended specs, you'll be able to play the game at high settings and at 1080p resolution. That's what we formally tested at, and that is the consistent experience you can expect from the minimum and recommended specs outlined on the store page. That being said, some of you may still attempt to play the game below the official minimum spec." So there you go, guys, the official minimum and recommended specifications, which, as you might expect, are actually fairly beefy, especially for the recommended. The graphics card required to run this game at high settings is fairly meaty, so might be a little bit troublesome for those of you who perhaps have a low to mid-range PC, but I still think, the tweak of the settings, if Capcom of course do it right, you should be able to still run it at a fairly shiny graphics and fairly consistent frame rate. Anyway guys, that is me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.